Hello, my living whole friends, my travel nursing friends, whoever's watching this. Anyway, so we are back for another Everything Travel Nursing, and you have arrived to your housing, you're all tucked in, you're all ready to go for your first day. So what to expect from your first day of travel nursing, and what are my tips, because it is always important to put your best foot forward. And I've had so many first days within the past 4.5, 5 years of travel that it's just kind of like,
it's the first day.
Again, I'm the new kid on the block, and it's always good to have good professional practice as well as just things to be mindful of. My first tip is to scout your hospital location. So plan your travel to where you have maybe a day or an evening before your actual show up to orientation, because you will want to make sure that you arrive on time, you know where your hospital is, you have your first day instructions ready to go, and you can walk into your orientation and set a good example for both you but also your company. When I was in high school, my band director would say if you're on time, you're late, and if you're early, you're on time. Same principle applies here. You need to plan for traffic, you need to plan for a flat tire. That first day, I'm always way early. Even if it means I sit in my car, I am early. I am there, I'm ready to go. I have my instructions, and you want to decrease anything that can go wrong in that first day. And that includes unforeseen traffic, all the things. You're not familiar with the area, or maybe you are, but if you're not familiar with the area, you want to decrease maybe getting caught in traffic or being late. To me, late is like the worst thing. Comment down below if you feel like being late makes you like, oh my God, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late.
Don't be late.
It looks horrible, looks terrible. The other thing that you want to ensure that you do before your first day or before you depart, make sure that you have all of your first day instructions and you have read through them thoroughly, because sometimes your location will change, sometimes you're off campus at this location, and then maybe the next day you're on campus. Orientation for every facility has been very, very different everywhere that I've been. Some require the full week orientation. I've had them say, just show up at the lab, here's your logins, be ready to work. And then I have also had where you show up for a half day here and you have to take a pass or fail test. And then maybe if you pass, you go to the unit, and if you don't, your assignment's canceled. There are things like that. So make sure you have a thorough understanding of your pre-orientation and your first day instructions, and make sure you are on time. Alongside being on time, you always want to be polite. You always want to have a little bit of an open mind, and then also want to make sure that you are polite, you're professional, and you have an open mind, because everywhere that you have been or anywhere else that you have worked, this facility probably does things a little bit different, and you are not there to change the way they do things. You are there to help and to ensure that patients are taken very good care of. Even though you are probably bored out of your mind during orientation, put your phone away, pay attention, and be a good example for not only your professionalism, because HR talks to your unit. And if you're a problem in orientation, the unit's probably gonna know about it. So I have seen travelers come in with a bad attitude, and HR, like the orientation people, be like, you're not working for our facility, you're canceled. I have seen that. So everything matters from start to finish. From the initial communication, if you have to communicate with HR make sure you're polite, you're on time, make sure that you have an open mind, and you are engaged with an orientation. And I have been through so many orientations, and all of which have had very different ways that they have been done. So you have to be patient with the facility, but you also have to be open-minded and engaged in the process. So pay attention. It might be the same old, but they might do things differently. So you need to be aware of that as well. I think alongside being on time, being polite and professional, and being open-minded, the facility also expects you to have a positive attitude and to be a team player. Again, every facility has been different, but I think that just humans, if you approach people with kindness, their expectation is for you to take high quality care of their patient population, as well as be a good example of the hospital. Because even though you are an employee of the agency that you work for, you are still an image of the facility that you are going to work for as well. And they are very protective of that as well. So you are kind of a double agent. You wear many caps throughout this, and so it's very important that you put your best foot forward and you are a good example of professionalism. Me saying that sounds kind of redundant and like people should know this, but you would be incredibly surprised at some of the behaviors that I have seen from travelers in orientation where I'm just like, really? Really? Like, there have been a couple circumstances where I'm just like, holy moly, like how did you get hired? So that is really important. Like, don't be that traveler. Be polite, be on time, be kind. You're there to help. If you have a bad attitude, you need to not travel, because you're just giving this facet of nursing profession really just a bad name. And I have seen a lot of things within that measure. And yes, my professional standards might be a little higher. Be a good human, be polite, be professional. So I don't know if there's anything else I can say on that. That's kind of a soapbox. But as far as first day instructions, arriving to the facility and your first day, all of them are just a little bit different. You may have orientation, you may not. You might be going to 3 different locations for different phases of your orientation. So it's imperative for you to be on time, be thorough, and to be flexible within this process. So you're gonna get your badge, you're gonna get all your access codes and everything that you need to start on the unit. And I hope this helps. That's really the rundown of it. So yeah, you're going to see a lot. It's important that you be diligent in your own professional practice so that you are successful that first week. But again, be polite and have an open mind. You're going to have to be flexible as a traveler. So that's your first day orientation, facility expectations in a nutshell. That's really all you have to do to be successful.